The rain had been falling for hours, coating the small town in a silver mist. Mike Sanders, a 42-year-old auto mechanic, was locking up his garage for the night. His boots were still muddy from crawling under a customer's truck, and the smell of motor oil clung to his clothes. He was tired, hungry, and honestly, ready to collapse into bed. That's when he heard it. A small, hesitant voice from the shadows near the corner store. "Excuse me, mister, could you help me?" Mike turned and saw her, a little girl, maybe 7 or 8, bundled in a faded pink coat that was 2 sizes too big. Her face was pale, her hair tangled, and her eyes, wide, searching, looked like they carried more years than she'd been alive. She pointed toward the old apartment building across the street. "My legs, they don't work so good today. If you carry me up the stairs, I'll tell you a secret." Mike hesitated. He didn't know her. This was a small town, but not so small that strangers didn't exist. Still, there was something in her voice. Not fear, not manipulation, just a quiet kind of trust, the kind that kids have before the world teaches them not to. "All right, kiddo," he said softly, pulling his jacket tighter against the cold. "Let's get you home." The building was old, its bricks chipped, the stairwell dimly lit. As he carried her, she clung to his jacket with cold fingers. Her breathing was shallow, and Mike could feel the warmth of her fever through the fabric. Halfway up, she whispered, "You smell like my dad used to. Like engines and soap." Mike smiled faintly. "Your dad a mechanic?" She shook her head, eyes glistening. "He used to fix cars before he went away." When they reached the 3rd floor, she motioned toward a peeling blue door. Mike knocked, but there was no answer. The hallway was silent except for the creak of the floorboards under his boots. "He's not home," she whispered. "He works nights. I couldn't make it up today." Mike set her down gently, his knees aching from the climb. "All right, kiddo, you're safe. Now, what's this secret you promised me?" She looked at him for a long moment, as if weighing whether he could be trusted. Then, in a voice so small it almost vanished into the hum of the hallway lights, she said, "My dad's birthday is next week. I don't have a present for him. But I know he misses his truck. It's broken. If I tell you where it is, will you help me fix it?" Mike blinked. He hadn't expected that. He thought maybe she'd tell him about a hidden stash of candy or a story from school, not this. "Where's the truck?" he asked. She gave him an address on the edge of town. It was in an old barn, she explained, under a tarp. Her dad had been saving for repairs for months, but the bills, and her medicine, always came first. The next day, before dawn, Mike drove out to the barn. The truck was there, an old '72 Ford, rusted and tired but with good bones. Mike spent the next 5 nights after work, repairing it, using parts from his own shop and refusing to think about the cost. On her father's birthday, Mike parked the truck right outside that peeling blue door. When the man, tall, worn-looking, with tired eyes, opened it, the little girl came running out, squealing. "Daddy! Look!" Her father turned, froze, then looked at Mike. His voice cracked when he said, How did you?" Mike shrugged. "Your daughter told me a secret." The man tried to speak, but his throat tightened. Finally, he simply shook Mike's hand, his eyes wet. "You didn't have to." "I did," Mike interrupted softly. "Some things you just do." That night, as Mike walked home, he thought about the way the girl had smiled from the truck's passenger seat. No, not smiled. Glowed. It was the kind of smile that made all the late nights, greasy hands, and aching bones worth it. Sometimes, kindness isn't about changing the whole world. Sometimes, it's about fixing one old truck, and reminding someone they're not alone. The next week, Mike went back to his regular routine, wrench in hand, grease on his forearms, the hum of the garage filling his days. He didn't expect to see them again. People come and go in life, and kindness isn't something you do for thanks, it's something you do because it's right. But one chilly afternoon, the shop door creaked open. There she was, the little girl in the pink coat, this time with a knit hat pulled low over her ears and a smile that could melt ice. Her dad followed, carrying a paper bag. "We brought you something," she announced, hopping toward him. Inside the bag was a slice of pie and a thermos of coffee. Her father stepped forward. "I don't have the words to thank you, but you should know something. That truck? It wasn't just a truck. It was my last piece of my own dad. I thought I'd never drive it again." Mike swallowed hard, looking down at his oil-stained boots. Sometimes things, and people, just need a little fixing. The girl tugged on his sleeve. "You didn't just fix the truck," she said quietly. "You fixed my dad, too." Mike didn't say anything, but for the rest of the day, he worked with a lighter step, as though a weight he hadn't noticed had been lifted. Some secrets are worth carrying, just like some people. And sometimes, when you carry someone, you find they've been carrying you, too.